Okay guys, welcome to another video. Once again, I am joined by JD. I know it's been a while since we had JD on the channel.
Yep.
And right now we are just returning home from our annual Halloween pub quiz.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. As you can tell, I'm a pirate. And JD, I don't know, can you tell what JD is?
I'm a pimp, yo.
He's a pimp, yeah.
Pimp, yo. Got my pimp cane. Whoa.
So yeah, it's been a while since JD has been on the channel.
It has. Yeah.
What have you been up to, JD? Anything you want to share with us?
Well, my wife and I had a baby. So,
so congratulations to JD.
Yeah, so
father now.
Almost 3 months now, so I'm sure he'll be on the channel at some point.
Yeah.
Little young at the moment, but yeah, I've been busy with that, so things have finally settled down, so yeah.
Okay, awesome. So usually when I go to the pub quiz, or when we go to the pub quiz, we do like a Q&A, which we did last year. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link so you can go check that out. This year we didn't do it, but we got something hopefully just as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did is I prepared some ghost stories, and since it's Halloween, I thought it would be kind of fun to have JD read these ghost stories. There's 7 of them. Some of them are real ghost stories, at least according to the source that I found.
Real as in they're from traditional, they've been told countless times in Japan. So they're, I guess, traditional or historical or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, actual Japanese stories.
Yeah, actual Japanese stories.
And this is where we turn here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just hang on a sec here. We were heading home and we just had to detour because they're doing construction.
Doing construction in that direction, so they're like, no, go back, go to the highway, and you can use it for free today. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had to head back. But anyhow, some of the stories are real stories, and some of them are fake. They're ones that I made up.
Right.
This is where I go, this side.
Yeah, this side. Okay. So there's 3 fake ones.
3 fake ones.
Out of the 7.
Out of the 7, yes.
Okay, so and my job is to read them and say which ones I think are the real ones and which ones I think are the ones Paul made up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to attempt to do.
Can you guess?
Can I guess? So I've been living in Japan for about 13 years now. So
which one do we want? We want Nagoya,
yeah,
right?
Nagoya. Yeah, Kawaguchiko Nagoya. So probably that side. That side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. According to the writing on the there it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah, you don't want to go that way.
No. Okay, that's important.
Yes.
So Nagano and Nagoya.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay. So JD's gonna read the stories, and you guys can play along at home.
Yeah.
Try to guess which are the ones I made up and which ones you think are real.
All right. Do I get any hints about like the language used in these? Like, well, I guess all of these were written by native speakers, so there won't be.
They're all in English, right? They're all translations.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, how about I just get to it?
You're just gonna have to guess.
I'm just gonna have to guess. All right.
But let me set the mood a little here. I got to turn off this light. There we go. How's that? All right. So sit back and enjoy as we cruise down the highway, listening to these ghost stories.
Ghost stories. All right. I can read this. There we go. Okay. The first story is entitled "The Black Hair." There was a samurai living in poverty in the capital who was suddenly summoned to the service of a lord of a distant land. The samurai eagerly accepted the offer, but abandoned his wife of many years in favor of taking another woman he desired along with him. When his responsibilities to the lord had finished, the samurai returned to the capital and found himself longing for his old wife. He went to the old house where they had once lived. It was midnight, and the autumn moon bathed the home in light. The gate was open, and the samurai entered his old dwelling, only to find his much-missed wife sitting silently by herself. She showed neither anger nor resentment toward her husband, but instead offered him greetings and welcomed him back after his long time away. The samurai, overcome with emotion, swore to his wife that they would live together from now on and never be parted. Pleased by the happiness this brought to his wife's face, the samurai embraced her, and they held each other until sleep took them. When the samurai awoke, the bright morning sun battered the house more harshly than had the autumn moon. He looked about himself and found that instead of embracing his wife, he was holding a dry corpse. Nothing but bits of flesh clinging to bone wrapped in her long black hair. He leapt up and rushed to the neighbor's house. What happened to the woman who lived next door? Her? She was abandoned by her husband long ago and died of an illness brought on by her sorrow. It was just this summer that she died. But because there was no one to care for her or give her a funeral, her body lays still where she died. That's the end of story number one. That's the end of the story number one.
The stories aren't too long, but...
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I judge after each one? What do you think?
You can, but it'll be obvious
towards
with
the end.
The last one maybe or something.
Okay,
but
okay.
If you want, we'll do a couple like that if you want first, and then later I won't.
No,
tell you.
I like your idea. So yeah, you're right. If you tell me the answer to each one, I'll know the last one for sure without even reading it. So we'll wait till the end. Okay. Here's the second story.
Yeah. Okay.
This one's called The Inviting Ghost Hand. Okay. Oh wow.
Is that motorcycles
going by?
Yeah.
A lot of motorcycles.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like the whole place is just motorcycles.
Wow. It's all Bosuzoku.
Yeah.
It's like a whole gang or something. What on earth are they
We're
doing?
gonna see some cop cars eventually. I don't know.
Doubtful.
Okay.
Okay, I think they're done.
Okay. Let's continue on.
All right. So the inviting ghost hand. An abbot was making a trip to Akiyama village when he heard the sounds of footsteps behind him. Since he was particularly sensitive to ghostly matters, he knew at once what it was. Ah, that is a poor lost soul who died in the terrible drought they had in the village a while back. So sad to think it is still hanging on long past its time. When he arrived at the village, the abbot prepared a copy of a Buddhist sutra, then returned to where he had heard the footsteps and waited for dark. Sure enough, a milk-white hand thrust out to him from the darkness. The abbot laid the sutra in the disembodied hand and began to chant the memorial service for the dead. The unknown Yurei disappeared and was never heard from again. That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
The unknown Yurei. So, Yurei means ghost,
Right.
in case you don't know.
Yeah.
Yurei.
Oh, I knew that because I may have wrote that. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyhow, yeah. I won't. How about this? I won't tell you the answer, but if you guess as we go, at least it'll be fresh in your mind at the time that you read it.
Okay.
Or I don't know. What do you think? Or as you choose, JD, as you choose, whatever you think's easier.
I'm gonna read to the end.
Okay, read to the end.
If I could just read a couple keywords and to kind of refresh my memory, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, here's the number 3. Just this page. This is the Hosokawa Samurai. Hosokawa Samurai. In 1477, a samurai returning home from war in the capital met a young woman selling dried fish and rice cakes from a basket. He had traveled far and was hungry, so he bought some fish and sat on a large rock to eat. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen and could not stop gazing upon her. "I'm thirsty," he said. "My sister, further down the road, can give you wine." "I do not thirst for wine." He sprang up, grabbing her wrist. She dropped her basket to reveal a knife and lunged at the man. But the samurai sidestepped and drew his sword, slaying her. Immediately, he panicked and hurried along the road. Soon, he came to a small house of little note, where a woman stepped out to greet him with a cup in her hand. This woman was somehow more beautiful than the first. "Do you thirst, traveler?" she asked, her face emotionless. He was winded from his run, yet something again stirred inside the samurai, and he desired the woman. "Yes," he panted, and reached for the cup. He gulped it down, and as he wiped his mouth, noticed the knife in her hand. He reached to draw his sword, only to discover that he held not a sword, but a fish. The woman stabbed him in the eye.
That's the end.
That's the end.
The end.
The end.
And they lived happily ever after.
Okay.
Okay. So that was number 3.
That was number 3.
Okay.
All right. Here's number 4. This is called the Rattling Bridge. Okay. In the village of Osaka, in the province of Hida, modern-day Gifu Prefecture, there lived a man named Kaneemon. In front of his house was an old wooden suspension bridge that led across a mountain valley to the neighboring village. One night, while in his house, he heard the distinct rattling sound of someone crossing the bridge, accompanied by whispering voices. Making the crossing was far too dangerous at night, so he rushed out to warn the travelers. He saw nothing. This continued night after night, always the rattling of the bridge and the whispering. On some nights, he even heard people weeping and cries of sorrow. Unsure of what to do, Kaneemon consulted a fortune teller who told him that he was hearing a parade of the dead on their way to Tachiyama, modern-day Toyama Prefecture. It was known that there were several entrances to hell located in Tachiyama, and that the moja, which is dead people, must have recently discovered his bridge as an expedient path. Hearing that, he immediately moved his entire household as far away from the bridge as possible, and also arranged to have a memorial service held at the bridge, praying for those poor spirits cast into hell. A memorial was posted at the bridge, and from that time, no more strange sounds were heard. However, that bridge is still known to this day by the name of Gata-gata Bashi, meaning Rattling Bridge. That's interesting.
Okay.
All right. Okay, here we go. Number 5. This is called the Hermit of Shimotsuke. Okay. An old hermit tended a small shrine on a hill beside the Nakagawa River in Shimotsuke Province, now known as Tochigi. One evening, a traveler approached as the hermit carried an armload of firewood. The stranger wore a dark hood, which cast a shadow across his face. "I seek a man by the name of Nobuko." The stranger's voice was dry. The hermit regarded the stranger, then replied, "I do not know anyone by that name," though secretly he knew it was his own, a name not uttered for a dozen years or more. "Long ago, this man struck an old woman and stole her coin purse," said the stranger, drawing closer. The man fled, only to discover it was empty. The hermit nervously took a step back, dropping one of the logs he carried. "So, nothing was taken?" "Certainly not worth the trouble to..." It gets cut off. A crow watched the helpless woman bleed as she lay there and flew down. It plucked, pulled, and finally tore out her eye. More crows came, and she was unable to cry out. Piece by piece, they slowly tore her apart. The hermit wavered. "Perhaps the man you seek is in the next town over," he finally said. The stranger did not move. The hermit stepped back again and stumbled, sitting down hard on the ground. The stranger loomed, then tore open his cloak. 100 black crows emerged, swarming the hermit as the now empty cloak fell to the ground. They plucked, pulled, and tore the man to pieces. The end.
Okay.
All right, we got 2 more.
Yeah, if there's any spelling mistakes or anything, that's just my fault.
Okay. All right, number 6. Okay, it's a little bit of a longer one. Okay, here we go. So there's this one and one more. All right. This is pretty good. This is kind of difficult to differentiate.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm thinking, I'm like, All right, here we go. The Yurei of the Goze. A samurai named Hatsumi Kanji, a minor prefect in Kitakuni province, was making his annual trip to the capital at Edo one year when he stopped at an inn along the way. From his room, he heard the most beautiful singing voice he had ever heard in his life. It was coming from one of the other rooms and belonged to a Goze, one of the blind women who traveled the country making a living performing on the shamisen. Thinking that a voice so beautiful must be attached to an equally beautiful body, Hotsumi resolved to have the woman. He discovered which room was hers and hid in the dark, waiting. When the Goze returned, he sprang from his hiding place and ravished her, an act which the woman was not opposed to in the least. Ooh. The next morning, Hotsumi was shocked to discover that the woman with the beautiful voice was unspeakably ugly. Her hideous face beamed at him with a look of pure joy, thinking that she had at last found love. But nothing could be further from the truth. Hotsumi quickly concocted a plan and took the woman with him on his way to Edo. On a convenient mountain road, he pushed the ugly blind woman into a ravine, killing her. Having solved the problem quite nicely, he continued on his business. The following year, Hotsumi had completely forgotten about the incident. Again, the time came for his trip to Edo, and this time he stopped at a small mountain temple to spend the night. That night, the Yurei of the Goze appeared to him. She said, "Have you already forgotten last year? You played with me, and then tossed me away when you were finished. I have no eyes, but I see you now." She grabbed Hotsumi by his ankles and tore him from his bed. He struggled to break free, but his strength was nothing compared to her vengeful power. He was dragged to the temple's graveyard, where the Goze stopped before a certain grave, smiled wickedly, then embraced Hotsumi and drove him into the earth with one strong pull. The monks of the temple heard a commotion and ran to see what it was. They followed the trail to the graveyard, and after retrieving shovels, dug quickly into the earth. They soon found Hotsumi's body, with the skeleton of a woman strapped around it. By fate or bad luck, Hotsumi had chosen the temple where the Goze's body was buried after it had been discovered down in the ravine, and she had come to claim him. All right.
Okay.
And number 7. Last story. The Girl in the Forest. Here we go. A man hurried along a path in the dark woods late one night. He carried a lit chochin, that's a kind of Japanese lantern, in one hand, and a furushiki of persimmons in the other. Furushiki is like a wrapping cloth. Suddenly, he came upon a girl in the shadows up ahead. She was barefoot, and her clothes were soiled and tattered. "Hello?" he asked nervously, but she did not reply. "What are you doing here alone?" Silently, she held out her hand. The shadows shifted under the light of his chochin. He noticed an earthly smell about the girl, and that soil stained her clothing. Her face was expressionless, and her black hair hung down, concealing her eyes. "Are you hungry?" he asked, but again got no reply. He unwrapped a persimmon and placed it in her hand. Her skin was cold to the touch, and there was dirt under her nails. He waved his hand in front of her face, but there was no reaction. He was ready to give up and be on his way when the persimmon dropped from her hand. Bending to retrieve it, he glanced up. Her face was suddenly right next to his. Her eyes, now wide open, empty black pits of nothingness. The man recoiled as she opened her mouth wide, dislocating her jaw. He dropped his chochin, and it went out.
The end.
The end.
Okay, well, thanks for reading those stories, JD.
All right.
Maybe it's kind of hard to tell, but
okay.
Some might be obvious, but go ahead.
Okay.
Take a guess what you think were my stories or not.
I think...
I don't know if you've ever heard any of those before.
No, I can't say I've heard any of these.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm
let's
gonna
start with number 1, I guess, and go through them, or what do you think?
All right. Okay, so number 1 was the one about the guy that left his wife.
Right.
Then came back, and she's been dead for a long time.
He woke up next to her,
he woke
and
up
she
next
was
to
the
her. She
corpse.
was the corpse.
Is that mine, or is that not mine?
I think this is not yours.
That is not mine.
Okay,
Correct.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding.
1 for 1.
Yay. Okay.
Okay. All right, then the ghost hand. Let's see. This body heading into memorial service for the dead. Let's see. Kiyama Village, footsteps. I think this one. Oh, this one's hard.
What's that one? That's the
Abbott. The word
ghostly hand.
Yeah,
thing?
the ghostly hand.
Right.
An abbot. Abbot.
There's translations and things too, right?
Okay, this one I'm less certain about.
Okay.
I'm gonna say. Okay, can I say 2 that I think are yours?
Yeah, maybe that's best, because even when you get to the end, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I think the Yurei of Goze is yours. Number 6.
Oh, he threw her down into the ravine.
Yeah, I think that one's yours.
That is not mine.
Damn.
I thought you wouldn't guess that because it was so long, and
Yeah, but
maybe you just never know. Okay, yeah, that's not mine.
Okay, boop.
So I'm
I'm only one. I'm 1 for 2.
Okay, 1 for 2.
I'm 1 for 2.
Any
Okay.
other guesses? What are
yeah,
mine?
and I think number 7 is yours.
Number 7 is mine.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah.
The girl in
Any
the forest.
reason why you think it's mine, or just it doesn't seem as
Let's see.
Japanese as it should be?
I don't know. It's hard to pin down exactly why. It's just.
Because I really
I think
tried to
it's
make
this.
that.
I think it's this line here. He waved his hand in front of her face, like doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is something you tend to see in a lot of Western movies.
Could be.
And I thought this kind of action is like, that's the one thing that kind of. I mean, it's not a defined thing, but just kind of gave me that notion. So
Okay.
All right. So
Got it right.
I'm 2 for 3.
Okay, yeah.
Now the last one though.
I really tried to make that one sound. I don't know if you ever heard the story of the Mujina, the lady with the faceless face. It looks like an egg. I was kind of channeling that when I wrote that, but you saw right through it, so good stuff.
Okay, so what have I got left to? All right, so number 3, 4, and 5. I need
There's
to.
a Rattling Bridge.
4, 5. Yeah, so there's
Hosokawa Samurai.
Hosokawa Samurai, Rattling Bridge, Hermit of Shimotsuke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I say the ghost hand one already?
I think.
Oh no! I haven't. I hadn't
No.
decided. Okay, so the ghost hand is still
so
remaining.
number 2, the ghost hand.
Okay. So I gotta pick out of these 4. 2 of them are yours. This is what that means.
Right.
Dang. Okay. This is hard. Okay. Okay. The short. Okay. I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. Number 2 is yours. The ghost hand is yours.
That is not mine.
Damn it! Damn it! Okay, 2
Well, that
for.
narrowed it down for you, didn't
Oh, 2 for 4.
it? Yeah.
Okay, so that means.
I was wondering whether to put that in because I thought it's not much of a story. You might not think it's really mine. But I thought it's short enough. It'll be good in the video, right? So.
Okay. All right. In that case, the last one. Oh wait. No. So 2 of these are yours. Okay. The Rattling Bridge is yours.
I think you'll have to guess all 3 before I give you the answer,
Okay.
or else it'll give away.
Yeah. You're right.
others, right?
All right.
So you think
I think
Rattling Bridge is mine.
So two of these. So far I've only got 1 of these is yours. The girl in the forest was yours.
Yeah. So 2 of those are mine, and 1 of them is not mine.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the other 2 are the Rattling Bridge.
Rattling Bridge.
And so my choices are the Hermit or the Hosokawa Samurai. I think it's gonna be. Hosokawa Samurai.
Okay, one of those 2 is mine.
Okay,
Should
definitely. I think the bridge I have more confidence in. The Rattling Bridge is. I'm gonna say that one's yours, and I'm wrong on the Hosokawa Samurai. And the Hermit one is also yours then.
Okay,
Mine's my final. That's
one
my,
of those two is mine.
Okay,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you the answers.
Okay.
The Rattling Bridge is not my story.
No.
So my two stories are the Hermit and the Hosokawa Samurai.
Damn. Okay. I failed miserably on this test.
Oh.
Well, that means that
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
that means that your writing is very.
well,
Yeah,
a
it's very-
Japanese might recognize them as not. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but they know the stories. But
Well,
as far as your
maybe,
writing
maybe.
style, your writing style.
I
is-
was worried because in the Hosokawa Samurai, he gets poked in the eye.
Uh-huh.
And then in the other story with the hermit, the bird picks her eye. I'm like, oh, there's two stories about eyeballs getting eaten. He's gonna pick up on that, and it's gonna blow my cover. Is what I was thinking, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
of eye picking in
True,
a lot of
I
stories,
suppose.
so that's not necessarily.
Okay, well that was fun. Anyhow,
Yeah.
thanks for reading that, JD.
Oh,
I know
man.
it's hard. It's hard.
Wish I could have done better. Oh well, I did my
Yeah.
best.
So yeah, there's 7 Halloween stories for my viewers to enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that.
Yeah. Alrighty, there's Paul.
Thanks. Any final comments before we sign off, I guess?
Yeah, I guess have a happy Halloween.
Yeah, so thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Later. Peace out.